Narasumber kita yang selanjutnya.
Benar sekali, Southeast Asia Head of Customer Engineering Google, Mr. Anish Malhotra.
Give a big applause for Mr. Anish.
Selamat siang. So everywhere that I go, we want to know how loud the crowd can be. So I'm going to record this, and the loudest, we skip it in our media. So let's see how loud you guys can be. Okay, are you ready for this? Okay. You have to say Salamat Siang Google, okay? Very, very nice, super. So, this is what I'm going to do in the next 25-30 minutes. My name is, of course, Anish. I'm going to talk about machine learning. And I'm going to talk about what is machine learning, why machine learning is important for organizations, how do you go about starting machine learning using the Google Cloud platform, and how impactful is it? How many of you have had or read even one article on machine learning? Have you read any article on machine learning? No? Okay, so let's try and understand what is machine learning. Let's go to the next slide. So let's look at the what. Machine learning is driving insights from data. But this is not something that is new. It has been there, driving insights from data has been there for a very, very long time. But what is different is what is between the insights and the data, which is the algorithm. Till now, this algorithm was a human. It was the analyst who used to write these SQL queries to derive insights from the data, or it was a very smart programmer who used to write code to ensure that we can derive some meaningful information from the data. But what is different now is that now it is a machine that is deriving these insights. And what makes it important is that this machine does not have to be paid by the hour. It goes faster than the human being, so it can draw insights from the data much faster than you and I can. And it can draw insights which we as humans probably could not have got from the data. So that is the core difference. Trust me, I've been with Google for about 6.5 years now. Every meeting that I go with any organization has to have discussions on machine learning, because every organization wants to imbibe this. This is the latest technology that's available out there, because everything is around machine learning. Let's go to the next slide. So, in very simplistic terms, machine learning is trying to solve a problem without knowing what the solution would be. How many of you got spam emails about 5 years back? Trust me, it will be everybody. But if I ask you the same question, how many of you got spam emails? If you've used a Gmail account, how many of you have got spam emails in the last 2 years? Probably the number of hands would be much less. You know why? Earlier on, it was as simple as this. If the email contains something, then you mark it as a spam. But now, the machine itself learns about spam. You mark an email about spam, the next time those kind of emails will not land up in your inbox. So the machine is learning continuously. It's learning about how or what is a spam email. And that is the reason today that most of us who've used a Gmail or a cloud solution do not get any spam emails. This is one of the most simplistic ways of how machine learning has been proved useful. So what are the keys to successful machine learning? The most important is having large data sets. Having large data sets makes it possible for the machine to learn about something. Once you have the data sets, you need power, compute power, to be able to train your model. And once you have the power, you need the framework to be able to deploy the model. Do you know, if you compare a machine learning to what a human being is, it's the human brain which is the machine learning, which is learning continuously. Our parents taught us what is a cat, what is a dog, taught us different animals, taught us different foods. That is the most simplistic and the parallel thing of what machine learning is as from a human being perspective. But what's important is the culture of an organization. It's all about sharing, to be able to share the data. Trust me, most of the organizations that we talk to, most of our customers, have this as the biggest challenge, is about the ability for the culture to change, to be able to share the data across the organization, across different teams. Let's look at machine learning at Google. This is what Sundar Pichai, our CEO, talks about. What's more important is what is highlighted. It is core and it is transformative. And it is everything that we do at Google today is all around machine learning. I'm sure all of you have used one or many products from Google, and let me tell you some examples of what Sundar means about this. I don't know how many of you know this person, but this person's name is Jeff Dean. He works at Google. He is a master of everything that we do around artificial intelligence and machine learning. And when we started doing machine learning, Jeff found out that if all of us, all human beings on Earth, spoke to our mobile phones, because we use a lot of speech. I don't know how many of you use OK Google to tell Google to search for something. If all of us spoke for 3 minutes to our mobile phone, we would be done away with all the compute power that's available on this planet. And that's why we had to do something different at Google. Today, 20% of the mobile searches happens using speech. Can you imagine the kind of intelligence that's going in to understand our language and converting it into meaningful text to be able to implement these searches? I don't know if you've used Gmail on your mobile. Today, it can prompt you and give you answers or replies that you can just tap once to be able to respond to your email. 12%, and trust me, I travel quite a bit. I answer most of my emails using my mobile, and it's so easy because it's fast. I get prompted by possible replies, and it's all using machine learning. Google Translate. Yeah, I had to learn a little bit of Bahasa using Google Translate. But if you look back about 2 years back, Google Translate was very different than what it is today. 2 years back, it was using dictionaries, but today it uses machine learning to be able to translate, interpret what the language is, and then translate into a language that you so desire. The accuracy of translation has improved significantly using machine learning. Have you ever used Google Photos? If not, oh yeah, I can see a lot of hands. I have about 9,000 photographs on my Google Photos. If I want to search for something, maybe a sunset or a beach. It takes me, I don't need to tag my photographs. I can just search for Google Photos and it automatically detects which are my beach photographs or sunset photographs and displays it to me. How is that possible? It was only possible because of machine learning and artificial intelligence. Has anybody played AlphaGo? Or do you know about AlphaGo? AlphaGo is a game. Google Brain created and challenged the world record holder of AlphaGo, and we actually beat him. The number of possible moves, if you've played chess and compared AlphaGo, it's 10 to the power of 172. So if I was to create a presentation with all zeros, I'll probably need a few dozen of slides. That's the number of moves, and that's more than the number of atoms in this universe. Can you imagine the power that's needed for this particular program to be able to effectively play against the world champion and actually beat him to this game? And all this was possible because of artificial intelligence and machine learning. We use it internally also at our Google data centers. Using machine learning, we have been able to save 40% of our cost of electricity in our data centers. You can imagine the data center gets heated up with all the resources and the compute power that's running inside the data center. But using machine learning, how we control the temperature, we were able to switch off and switch on the air conditioning at the time that is actually needed. It's a huge benefit for our mankind also. So I hope I've been able to give you a perspective of what is machine learning and how it applies, at least to some of our Google products. But let's look at why should we be doing it. Enterprises today, organizations, and I'm sure that most of you will be working at some of these organizations, have had the challenge of actually connecting all the data, because all this data lies in separate different applications. I was sitting with the CIO of telecommunications some months back, and he said his biggest challenge was to reduce the number of applications that are running within the organization. Can you guess the number of applications he had? He had about 144 applications that are running in the organization. Each application has its own data, and the challenge was to connect all this data all together. Even if organizations are able to get the data from these different applications, it's all about how do you create the model? How do you ensure that the model has all the power needed to actually be able to train it? And once train it, how do I deploy it? How do I make sure that I get meaningful insights from that model to be able to take the right decisions? And all these things is exactly what the cloud, are the challenges that cloud solved, because it was able to give these enterprises the power needed to deploy these models effectively. So before the cloud was born, there were these innumerable number of steps, and most of the organizations got stuck because they did not have the necessary power to be able to train the models effectively or even deploy them. When the cloud was born, now on a click of a button, organizations are able to deploy their models, create the models, even get the models to be able to learn and relearn so that they become better models for getting more and more better insights from the data. Google also created hardware that is very specific to machine learning. We created hardware that probably takes us at least a couple of years ahead in terms of the power that's available today in the cloud to be able to run these kind of applications. This was just yesterday that we were the first cloud provider to offer the latest chip that's available, which is the Tesla T4, that's available to our customers to be able to run these particular kind of models and run and deploy these models in the cloud so that they can get meaningful insights. How do you get started on the Google Cloud Platform? There are two ways to do it. Google has, over the years, created these models for ourselves or for our applications that you can leverage, or organizations can create their own models using our platform. This is the entire stack. It's not the entire stack of GCP. The entire stack would need a couple of slides more. But this is the stack that most of our customers who are into machine learning and artificial intelligence use to be able to run these models, create these models and deploy them. On the top layer, you have the models that are created by Google, and I'll give you some more insights into some of these models. On the second layer are when our customers say, yeah, we have large number of data scientists within our organization, and they would want to create these models which are very specific to us, to our organization. They use TensorFlow. TensorFlow is an open source platform, and it's the most downloaded artificial intelligence platform on GitHub. All this cannot be done without these additional services or what we call cloud storage or our compute power that's available. I don't know how many of you know, but Google did not create these entire infrastructure and services just for our customers. These are the very things that run Google.com. Today, we have just extended them for our customers to leverage. Let's look at some of these. The first one is a video intelligence API. And you can try these out just by going on google.com/cloud, cloud.google.com. You'll be able to try these APIs. You pass a video to this API, it will tell you all these things. It will tell you about faces. If there is a face, if there is a particular thing that they capture in that particular video, it will be able to tell you. Can you imagine the power news organizations have today? Rather than see each video and tag them, they can pass this video to these APIs and be able to get information about what's there in this video and then make it searchable. That's the power that comes in with the Video Intelligence API. The second is the Vision API. A great example, I don't know how many of you read the New York Times had about 5 million photographs over the last few years that they have been in the business. They are using this API from Google to be able to not only store those images in the cloud so that they don't lose those photographs because some of them are priceless, but it's also to be able to make them searchable. If they wanted some picture which was 40 years back taken from the 5 million photographs, can you imagine how much time a human being will take? But today it's possible because they've stored these images on the Google Cloud Platform, and using the Vision API, they are able to detect what are the things that's there in that picture. Even OCR, organizations are using this API to be able to read information from a card or a passport, to be able to store it and index that particular picture. The third is the Speech API. To be able to detect what language is being spoken in a particular speech, convert it into another language and store it and do analysis of what that particular speech is all about is what the Speech API does. Can you imagine also another use case of machine learning where a lot of customer service departments are using this to be able to understand more about their customers? Was this a complaint? Were they complaining about something? Are they saying something nice about it? Or are they suggesting something? And then make it more impactful by doing some things out of once they learn about it. Chatbot. I'm sure you've probably been customers to a lot of chatbots that a lot of organizations today have on their websites. And these are becoming very, very powerful. Today, Google has this capability where our customers are able to create these chatbots and make it so that they can help create business. One of my customers in India increased their business by more than 40% online because of chatbot. This chatbot was able to answer questions the customers had without a human intervention. That's the power that comes in with the Dialogflow API that Google has. Translation API, having the ability to translate from one language to the other, detection of these languages and make it available for our customers is something that a lot of enterprises who are present in multiple countries where language is an issue can use this to get more insights from that data. Let's look at the impact. We'll talk about 2 case studies that really are important. One of them, AirAsia. I'm sure many of you have flown them. They went through a digital transformation journey, and they wanted the people not to spend time on processes, but be able to make impactful things from a business insights. Their first challenge was, how can we reduce operational costs and have more impactful campaigns that will help us draw more revenue from our customers? Being able to send a particular customer the right campaign or the right offer so that they can fly in from AirAsia 1 more time or 2 more times is what AirAsia wanted to do. And they used data analytics and a BigQuery to be able to make that possible. The second example is Ocado. Ocado is the largest e-commerce company in the United Kingdom. And they use machine learning to be able to interpret what their customers are complaining about. And look at the results. They were able to create a platform that could be leveraged by their other vendors to be able to supply and get their goods faster to their customers. Do you know what happens then? You have a happy customer. You have a happy customer, you get more revenue from your customer because those customers come back to you again and again to get you more business. They were able to respond faster to their customer complaints because of automation, because of machine learning. They were able to read and understand, was this a complaint? Is this something that needs to be solved by the finance department, or is it a logistics problem? And they were able to come back to their customers with meaningful insights out of data. There are innumerable number of use cases. Trust me, even we at Google are learning every day when we talk to our customers of how machine learning and artificial intelligence can apply to each of these industries. This is just the start. Trust me, over the next few years, machine learning and artificial intelligence is going to be one of the most important things that is going to be important from all these organizations. So I hope I've been able to give you a perspective of the what, the why, the how, and the impact. And every time we talk about it's a culture. It's a culture change that organizations go through. And it's about openness of the data to be able to make it possible for them to leverage the insights from the data. With that, I would like to say thank you so much for being patiently listening to me. I hope I've given you the insights. Are there any questions I can take?
Boleh tepuk tangannya untuk Mr. Anish.
Yeay.
Gokil Hanum. Menurut gue machine learning itu bisa jadi gantiin manusia nggak sih?
Gila sih, dia lebih cepat dari kekuatan manusia manapun yang ada di bumi ini.
Nah,
Cool.
buat teman-teman yang punya pertanyaan yang udah
Yes.
dicatat atau dipendam di dalam hati, wow, keluarin aja. Jangan jadi pendendam. Kita sekarang mau buka sesi question and answer buat 3 orang yang beruntung kali ya bisa dijawab pertanyaannya sama
Mungkin
Mr. Anish.
masih bias sekali konsep cloud itu tuh seperti apa sih sebetulnya?
Betul sekali.
Ahlinya ada di sini, Mr. Anish will answer you. Silakan teman-teman 3 penanya langsung. 1, dari sebelah sana, 2, 1 lagi, 3. Oke.
Oke.
Silakan.
Langsung maju aja kali ya?
Boleh maju ke
samping
depan sini,
kali
yang
ya.
mau tanya maju aja.
Nah.
Oke. So we get much excitement here, Mr. Anish.
Well, actually I have one question.
Yes.
But later.
Oke.
Ya, kita tunggu pertanyaan dari teman-teman dulu
Baik.
deh. Oke.
Silakan naik ke panggung boleh kok.
Boleh.
Sini Mas ya.
Mentas atau nggak mau mentas? Oh ya udah. Sini. Nggak apa-apa kalau mau nari, nuzul.
Boleh.
Kebetulan bukan IMB katanya.
Sini naik dulu. Oke, Reza yang sebelah sana udah ready apa yang sini dulu?
Yang di situ dulu boleh.
Oke, silakan nama dan pertanyaannya.
My name is Marcel and I'm from University Tripura, Tripura University. Okay. I'm so interested using the Google AI for my daily use, but I'm scared to one problem. How does Google handle if there is a data leak?
If there is a?
Data leak from I save my data in Google Cloud. I'm scared to there is a data leak. My question is, how does Google handle if there is a data leak on
Data
Google?
leak.
Yes,
Data leak.
data leak.
Data leak.
Sorry.
Gue pikir like sama
like
Facebook.
data leak.
Oh iya.
Oke, Marcel, thank you.
Alright.
Baik.
Oke.
Terima kasih, Marcel.
Mr.
Thank you.
Anish.
So let me answer that question.
Yes.
Security is so important for us at Google. As I told you, the data centers that run our customers' applications are the very data centers that run Google.com. So our customers get the same security level that we at Google get for our applications. That's one. Two, we have 750 of the world's top hackers that work at Google. They're not called hackers, they're called security experts at Google. But their job is to just break it into Google, try and break it into Google every day. We want to make the most secure cloud that's possible in the planet. Third, our customers can encrypt their data using their own keys. Even as a Google employee, I've never seen a Google data center because I'll never be allowed into one. Even if I was to, every bit of our customer's information is sharded and broken up into pieces. So nobody can walk into a data center, take out a computer and say, oh, this is information for a particular customer. And I'll take CNN as an example. It's not that CNN's data is lying in one. It's broken up and spread it all across these different data centers.
Wow.
Keren banget.
Jadi ngebayar hacker untuk
Itu
masuk
dia.
ke sistem tiap hari.
Ya ini
Untuk
ada
apa?
lowongan kerja baru menjadi hacker. Ternyata hacker bisa jadi jenjang karir ya.
Benar sekali, ternyata ya.
Daripada lo ngecit-ngecit dong di warnet.
Wow, that's
coba apply di
really
Google.
cool.
Yeah, so if you are a hacker, come and talk to me.
Oh.
Hacker-hacker biar faedah hidupnya
Bisa
ayo kerja di Google.
mengubah kegiatan tercela menjadi cuan.
Cuan banget. Lanjut,
Oke.
next question.
Ayo Mbak. Namanya siapa? Hobinya apa?
My name is Dina Mariana and my hobby is sleeping.
Oh sleeping. Iya,
Sleeping.
Putri tidur ya. Kebanyakan laler sesek di rumah apa gimana? Suka ngantuk. Oke.
I want to ask about network security in Google Cloud. And how can you sure that your data is safe in your cloud and not other people crawling your data in cloud? Because I'm network security enthusiast. Thank you.
Yeah, so as I spoke about, as I said, our customers can secure their data using their own encryption keys that they don't share with Google. So as I said, even if somebody were to get or a leak would have happened, it doesn't make sense for anybody because it is meaningless. Okay. It will be all ones and zeros, which does not mean anything. So as I said, our security measures are probably the same, are the same as what runs Google.com. There is no compromise on that one.
Wow. Jadi walaupun dapat datanya juga sudah terpecah belah.
Pecah-pecah. kejamin gitu ya.
Kayak kaki kita nih pecah-pecah.
Iya benar.
Kena lantai.
Hati kita juga. Thank you.
Terima kasih.
Silakan. Next
Silakan
question.
Bang.
I just want to ask you a question about how...
Namanya dulu Bang, ntar tanya. Akrab.
My name is Felsa. I'm pretty curious about like how machine learning can actually help the the undeveloped country, and whether if they can actually help whether to improve their economy or maybe their lifestyle or such.
Fantastic
Okay.
question.
Thank you for the question.
Trust me, I can spend the next 1 hour just talking about that. But I'll give you 1 or 2 use cases that I know about that are really being done, right? One of the things that our Prime Minister, sorry, I'm from India, so I can tell you, our Prime Minister is announcing today, it's about a bank that is going to be global bank that's going to be available for citizens of across the world where they do not even have a bank account, to be able to help them. And that's what's made possible using cloud. Today, if the cloud was not there, trust me, this would not have been possible. Now, even the people who are in our villages in India are able to access and get this information about how to use a bank, how to save money and help the economy. I'll give you another example. Google is providing Wi-Fi today in most of the stations in India, railway stations. It is just making possible for people who don't have access to Wi-Fi and internet to be able to access and get this information about. The third, there are today so many examples of how machine learning is being used to solve world's medical problems, to be able to solve and understand diseases that we don't have a breakthrough. And we are hoping that using today the compute power and machine learning, we'll be able to break in and get this information and solve problems for a lot of us.
Answer. Yay.
Kena jawabannya.
Mas Faisal.
Kalau bingung di Google Translate dulu aja, ntar
Iya
bisa.
benar, rekam dulu.
Iya.
Oke, sudah terjawab ya?
Sudah dijawab.
So,
last question from me.
Okay, Reza.
So we see that the machine learning is a smart technology, right? Is there any plan ahead? Maybe you can put some chip into a human body or something like that. Is that could happen with the machine learning?
I'm sure you know something that I don't know. But so earlier on, and I've been associated to the cloud for more than about 12 years now. Earlier on, we used to say that every 10 years there is a technology change. Now, I think that 10 years is gone. It's more like 2 and 3 years. Because of the change in machine learning and all these things that are coming in, our technology is changing so fast. There is a company that Google has, which is people with diabetes now have this lens in their eyes, which can actually transmit information that their sugar levels have gone higher to their doctors.
Taruh di
pakai
soft lens.
Oke.
Keren banget, bahkan di tahun ini ya.
Iya,
Jadi,
this years.
no wonder if there is
I am sure that there are people sitting out here who are going to probably be leveraging machine learning over the next few years to be able to create some next generation revolution thing.
Keren. Kebayang ya.
It's really cool.
Kalau nantinya manusia itu bisa dikalahkan sama sebuah mesin tuh kayak gimana coba?
Ntar yang MC mesin. Kita
Wah.
kerja apa?
Makan apa kita?
Iya, makan apa?
Jadi kesian. Boleh minta tepuk tangannya sekali lagi untuk Mr. Anish Malhotra.
Mr. Anish Malhotra.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Really great station. Thank you so much, Mr. Anish. Once again, give a big applause for Mr. Anish Malhotra.